Hello students, welcome to the Gurukul transmission. I am Dr. Ekta Bhushan, Assistant Professor, Indira Gandhi Institute of Physical Education and Sports Sciences, University of Delhi. Today we are going to study about human digestive system. Have you ever thought what happened to the food once you swallow it? In fact, how it is that you are able to swallow it at all? Your digestive system performs amazing feats every day, whether you eat a double cheeseburger or a simple salad. In today's lecture, we are going to learn what exactly happens to the food as it makes its way through your digestive system. The digestive process involves the alimentary canal along with various accessory organs and organ systems. In humans, the process is quite simple due to our monogastric nature. This means that we have a one-chambered stomach, unlike other animals as cows, which have 4 chambers. Some parts of nervous and circulatory system also play a significant role in the digestive process. A combination of nerves, bacteria, hormones, blood and other organs of the digestive system completes the task of digestion. The digestive system of the human body comprises a group of organs working together to convert food into energy for the body. Anatomically, the digestive system is made up of the gastrointestinal tract along with accessory organs such as liver, pancreas and gallbladder. The hollow organs that makes up the gastrointestinal tract include the mouth, stomach, esophagus, small intestine and large intestine that contains the rectum and anus. We can see all these organs in this diagram. You can see that we intake the food from mouth. So, that is the first organ of digestive system. Then comes the pharynx. We have also learned this pharynx in the respiratory system as well. So, this is the common organ of digestive system and respiratory system. Then comes the esophagus, which we also called as food pipe, then stomach, then small intestine, large intestine, rectum and anus. The associated organs with digestive systems are liver, which we can see, the pancreas and gallbladder. So, we can see all these organs in this diagram. Now, we will learn each of the organs in detail. So, let us start with the mouth. So, mechanical digestion, it has mechanical digestion and it has chemical digestion as well. In mechanical digestion, it occurs with teeth by breaking up the food, and by chemical digestion, it secretes the saliva, amylase, enzyme digest starch. So, the mouth is the beginning of the digestive system, and in fact, digestion starts here before you even take the first bite of a meal. The smell of the food triggers the saliva glands in your mouth to secrete saliva, causing your mouth to water. When you actually taste the food, saliva increases. Once you start chewing and breaking the food down into pieces small enough to digest it, other mechanism comes into play. More saliva is produced. It contains substances including enzymes that begin the process of breaking down food into a form of your body can absorb and use. Chew your food more, it also helps your digestion. The next organ is the pharynx. Also called the throat, the pharynx is the portion of the digestive tract that receives the food from your mouth. Branching off the pharynx is the esophagus, which carries food to the stomach, and the trachea or windpipe, which carries air to the lungs. The act of swallowing takes place in the pharynx, partly as a reflex and partly under voluntary control. The tongue and soft plate, that soft part of the roof of the mouth, push food into pharynx, which closes off the trachea. The food then enters to the esophagus. The next organ is esophagus, which is attached upwardly, it is attached to the pharynx, and downwardly it is attached to our stomach. The esophagus is the muscular tube extended from the pharynx and behind the trachea to the stomach. Food is pushed through the esophagus and into the stomach by means of a series of contractions called peristalsis. Just before the opening to the stomach is an important ring-shaped muscle called the lower esophageal sphincter. This sphincter opens to the food, passes into the stomach and closes to, keeps it there. If less does not work properly, you may suffer from condition called GERD or reflux, which cause heartburning and irregulation, the feeling of food coming back up. Now we will study about the stomach. The stomach starts from the esophagus and it will goes down to the small intestine. The stomach is a sac-like organ with strong muscular walls. In addition to hold food, it serves as a mixture and grinder of food. The stomach secretes acid and powerful enzymes that continue the process of breaking the food down and changing it to a consistency of liquid or paste. From there, food moves to the small intestine. Between meals, the non-liquefiable refamate are released from the stomach and unsheared through the rest of the intestines to the eliminated. Then the next organ is small intestine. As you can see in the diagram, the small intestine is divided into three parts. One is duodenum, the superior one, then jejunum and then ileum. Made up of three segments that we have just learned, the duodenum, jejunum and ileum. The small intestine also breaks down food using enzymes released by the pancreas and bile from the liver. The small intestine is the workhouse of digestion, as this is where most nutrients are absorbed. Peristalsis is also at work in this organ, moving food through and mixing it up with the digestive secretions from the pancreas and liver, including bile. The duodenum is largely responsible for the continuing breaking down process, which the jejunum and ileum being mainly responsible for absorption of nutrients into the bloodstream. A more technical name for this part of the process is motility, because it involves moving or emptying food particles from one part to the next. This process is highly dependent on the activity of a large network of nerves, hormones and muscles. Problems with any of these components can cause a variety of conditions. While food is in the small intestine, nutrients are absorbed through the walls and into the bloodstream. What's left over, which is waste, moves into the large intestine. Now we'll study about the large intestine. We also call it colon. The colon or large intestine is a 5 to 7 foot long muscular tube that connects the small intestine to the rectum. It is made up of cecum, the ascending colon, the transverse colon and descending colon, and sigmoid colon, which connects to the rectum. The appendix is a small tube attached to the ascending colon. The large intestine is a highly specialized organ that is responsible for processing waste so that defecation, which we also called as excretion of waste, is easy and convenient. Stool or waste left over from the digestive process passes through the colon by means of peristalsis, first in a liquid state and ultimately in solid form. As stool passes through the colon, any remaining water is absorbed. Stool is also stored in sigmoid S-shaped colon until a mass movement emptied it into the rectum, usually once or twice a day. It normally takes about 36 hours for stool to get through the colon. The stool itself is mostly food debris and bacteria. These bacteria perform several useful functions such as synthesizing various vitamins, processing waste, produce and food particles, and protecting against the harmful bacteria. When the descending colon becomes full of stool, it empties its content into the rectum to begin the process of elimination. Now we will study about rectum and anus. The rectum is a 8-inch chamber that connects the colon to the anus. The rectum receives stools from the colon, lets the person know there is stool to be evacuated, holds the stool until evacuation happens. When anything, gas or stool, comes into the rectum, sensors and send a message to the brain. The brain then decides if the rectal content can be released or not. If they can, the sphincters relax and the rectum contracts, expelling the contents. If the contents cannot be expelled, the sphincter contracts and the rectum accommodates so that the sensation temporarily goes away. The anus is the last part of the digestive tract. It consists of the muscles that lines the pelvic and two other muscles called anal sphincter. Now we will study about the accessory digestive organs that are liver, pancreas and gallbladder. Let's start with pancreas. The yellow one you can see in the diagram is pancreas. Among other functions, the pancreas is the chief factory for digestive enzymes that are secreted into the duodenum, the first segment of the small intestine. These enzymes break down protein, fats and carbohydrates. Then liver, you can see this is one of the largest organ of our body also. The liver has multiple functions, but two of its main functions within the digestive system are to make and secrete an important substance called bile and to process the blood coming from the small intestine containing the nutrients just absorbed. The liver purifies this blood of many impurities before traveling to the rest of the body. Now we will study about gallbladder. The gallbladder is a storage sac for excess bile. Bile made in the liver travels to the small intestine via the bile duct. If the intestine doesn't need it, the bile travels into the gallbladder where it awaits the signal from the intestines that food is present. Bile serves two main purposes. First, it helps absorb fat in the diet, and secondly, it carries waste from the liver that cannot go through the kidney. Now we are going to study about the digestive process. The whole digestive process include ingestion, mixing and movement, secretion, digestion, absorption, and lastly excretion. The process of digestion begins from the mouth and ends in the small intestine. The large intestine main function is to absorb the remaining water from the undigested food and enable bacteria's fermentation of materials that can no longer be digested. The alimentary canal or gastrointestinal tract is a series of hollow organs and tubes that begins from the mouth cavity and continues into the pharynx through the stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and finally ending at the anus. Food particles gradually get digested as they travel through various compartments of the gastrointestinal tract. The digestion process takes place into the following steps. First is ingestion. The very first step involves mastication, that is chewing. The salivary gland along with the tongue helps to moisten the lubricate food before being pushed down into the food pipe. The next is mixing and movement. It involves the process of lubricating and manipulating food and pushing it down to the food through the food pipe using peristalsis into the stomach. The next process is secretion. The stomach, small intestine, liver and pancreas secretes enzymes and acids to aid the process of digestion. It functions by breaking down food particles into simple components and easily absorbed components. The next process is digestion. The process of converting complex food particles into simple substances in the presence of enzymes and acids secretes by different digestive organs. Then absorption. This process begins in the small intestine where most of the nutrients and minerals are absorbed. The excess water in the indigestible matter is absorbed by the large intestine. The last one is excretion. The process of removing indigestible substances and waste the byproducts from the body through the process of defecation. Now we are going to study about some disorders of human digestive system. One is vomiting. It is the ejection of stomach content through the mouth. Diarrhea. It is the abnormal watery bowel movement. Prolonged diarrhea eventually lead to dehydration. Then constipation, a condition in which feces are clutched within the rectum due to an irregular bowel movement. Then indigestion, a pain or discomfort in the stomach which is caused when food is not digested properly, resulting in the feeling of fullness. Indigestion is mainly caused due to inadequate enzyme secretion, food poisoning, anxiety, overeating and ending spicy foods. Now we are going to study about some functions of human digestive system. The first one is digestion and absorptions are two main functions of the digestive system, as we have just learned. Digestion is necessary for breaking down food particles into nutrients that are used by the body as an energy source, cell repairs and growth. Then food and drink needs to be converted into smaller molecules of nutrients before it is absorbed by the blood and carried to the cells throughout the body. The body breaks the nutrients present in the drinks and food into carbohydrates, vitamins, fats and protein. Now, how can I keep my digestive system healthy? Most of the time this question comes in our mind. So, drinking water often is the first step which we can take. Water helps the food you eat flow more easily through your digestive system. Low amount of water in our body is a common cause of constipation. Includes fiber in your diet. Then eat a balanced diet. Be sure to eat several servings of fruits and vegetables every day. Then eat food with probiotic or take probiotic supplement is one of the step which we can take. Then eat mindful and chew more food, that is another step. Then the most important step which I think is exercise. Physical activity and gravity helps more food through your digestive system. Taking a walk, for example, after you eat a meal can help your body digest the food more easily. Avoid alcohol and smoking. Manage your stress. Now we have come to the conclusions. The human body digestive system breaks down food to release energy essential for the body to carry out its activity. The process of digestion takes place in 6 major steps which we have learned. The food is ingested by the alimentary canal and is propelled through the body for further processing. The autonomous nervous system controls the peristalsis, contraction and relaxation of muscles within the alimentary canal wall. The food is passed to the small intestine where it is digested and the nutrients are absorbed. Water, electrolytes and vitamins are absorbed by the large intestine and the waste is defecated. I hope you understood all the parts or organs associated with digestive system, process of digestion, functions of digestion and how you can improve your digestion through various methods. That's all for today. See you next time. Thank you.